one of the best European mentalists.
Hello everyone, magician and mentalist friends from India. It's Luca Volpe here, the Italian mentalist, and I will be joining magician Bharath on his YouTube channel Mallugic. See you soon.
എല്ലാവർക്കും ഹായ്, ഞാൻ magician Bharath. So welcome back to my channel Mallugic. അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ ആദ്യമായിട്ടാണ് ചാനൽ കാണുന്നത് സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യുക and also hit the bell icon for more magic and mentalism videos. അപ്പോൾ once again welcome back to this segment called FaceTime with Legends. അപ്പോൾ ഈ സെഗ്മെന്റിൽ ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഫീച്ചർ ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്ന ഒരു മെന്റലിസ്റ്റിനെയാണ്. വെറും മെന്റലിസ്റ്റ് അല്ല, ആള് പുലിയാണ്. കാര്യം പുള്ളിയുടെ പേര് ലൂക്ക വോൾപ്പെ എന്നാണ് and he is one of the most valuable mentalist in the world. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് സെർച്ച് ചെയ്ത് നോക്കാം ലൂക്ക വോൾപ്പെ ആരാണ് ഗൂഗിളിൽ. സോ യു വിൽ ഗെറ്റ് ദി ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ. വൺ ഓഫ് ദി മോസ്റ്റ് വാല്യുബിൾ മെന്റലിസ്റ്റ് ഇൻ ദ വേൾഡ് ആണ്. അത് മാത്രമല്ല പുള്ളിക്കാരൻ മെന്റലിസം ക്രിയേറ്റർ കൂടിയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഒത്തിരി എഫക്ട്സുകൾ മെന്റലിസം ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയിലേക്ക് പുള്ളി കോൺട്രിബ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പം എന്നെ പോലുള്ള ഇവിടെയുള്ള മിക്ക മെന്റലിസം പെർഫോമൻസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന കുറെ എഫക്ട്സുകളൊക്കെ പുള്ളി ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തായിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, സോ അതാണ് അതിലേക്കാണ് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ പുള്ളി ആളൊരു ഹിഡിലാണ്, നല്ല എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. മോർ ദാൻ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു 25-30 years ഓഫ് എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് പുള്ളിക്കുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ പുള്ളിനെ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ ചെയ്യാൻ പോവുകയാണ്. അപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾ മെന്റലിസ്റ്റ് ആണ്, മജീഷ്യൻ ആണ് എങ്കിൽ ഇത് ഫുള്ള് കാണുക. അല്ല, നിങ്ങൾ മെന്റലിസ്റ്റ് മജീഷ്യനോ അല്ലാന്ന് വെച്ചോ, മെന്റലിസം എന്താന്ന് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയില്ല, മെന്റലിസം പഠിക്കാൻ താല്പര്യമുണ്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മെന്റലിസത്തിനെ കുറിച്ച് അറിയാൻ താല്പര്യം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കാണുക ഇത്. കാര്യം ഇതിനകത്ത് പുള്ളിക്കാരൻ ശരിക്കും എന്താണ് മെന്റലിസം, ഒരു മെന്റലിസ്റ്റ് എങ്ങനെ ആയിരിക്കണം, എത്തിക്സ് എന്താണ്, ഇതിനെ കുറിച്ചൊക്കെ ഡീറ്റെയിൽ ആയിട്ട് പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് വിത്ത് ദാറ്റ് സെറ്റ് ലാഗ് അടുപ്പിക്കുന്നില്ല, നമുക്ക് നേരെ ഇന്റർവ്യൂയിലേക്ക് പോകാം. ഓക്കെ, സോ ലെറ്റ്സ് ജംപ് ഓൺ ടു ദ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ.
Hello, brother. How are you?
All good, Bharath. How are you? How is the?
Yeah, I'm doing good, bro. First of all, thanks a lot for doing this. I mean, thanks for giving some time for the interview.
No problem, no problem. Where do you live exactly in India?
I am from the southern part of India, so basically I'm in Kerala.
Kerala.
Yeah, Kerala.
Ah, okay, okay, good.
And what about you? Are now in UK, right?
Yes, I'm in UK now. Yes, exactly. But not, I'm a little bit in Italy, a little bit in UK. So it's a little bit, going back and forward.
Okay, nice. So we can start the session, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I know that you are one of considered as the most valuable Italian mentalist in the world, and you do you do shows for big corporate events, and you are an award-winning mentalist as well. So you are kind of inspiration to many mentalists out there in the industry. But I want to know, who is your inspiration in mentalism?
Well, I have many inspiration because I started to read very old books, and from Dunninger and Hanneman and all this, because I started on these very old books that kind of forged my brain and my way of thinking in mentalism. But I also now, obviously, if we talk about modern mentalists, we can see Darren Brown, Kreskin, and many others. Each one of them obviously has their own personality, and that's very important because when you are inspired by someone, you always need to try to learn from them but not to copy from them, which is something that many people make mistake, because they say, oh, Darren Brown speaks very fast and he does all this, I want to do the same, or I don't know. That's the point. You need to learn, absorb, but then create something based on your personality, because that's the real secret to become known. When you express yourself, the people love you for what you are and not for what you want to be.
Yes, so basically you are telling that whatever the kind of mentalism we do, we have to attract the audience with our personality and charisma, right?
Yes, charisma is important. Charisma, personality. I think each one of us is unique. You have this hat, you're very modern, hippie, street mentalist style. So you already have a personality and you need to play with this, because more you push your personality and more you can become someone.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So, let me just tell you one thing, and I need to ask question from my perspective, okay? I believe that, there is a big difference in magic and mentalism. So, in magic, people don't know where you are going. So, if one magic fails on a stage performance or street magic performance or whatever it is, people don't know where you are going. They don't know what you're going to do with the cards or with the coins. So if something goes wrong, you can change that into a different effect, right? In magic.
Yes.
But mentalism is like straight to the point. You either influence their mind or read their mind. So it's just direct, right? So people know where you are going. So
Well,
what to do if mentalism fails?
well, in reality, also in mentalism, the people don't really know what you were, where you are going. Because if you think about it, if I ask you to think of a drawing, okay, and I ask you to make a drawing somewhere, and I miss to understand which is your drawing, I can easily say, look, would you want to try something that, yes, instead of guess your drawing, I want to read your personality. So please show me, what did you draw? And then you say, look, I've done, I don't know, the sun and the sea. Oh, so you are a person that want to be free, that you want to, and stuff like that. And you do a reading based on their drawing. So, because I'm not saying before, look, concentrate and I'm going to duplicate the drawing. I'm not going to tell you. I just say, just think about the drawing. And then if I miss it, because you know before if you miss it or not, right? You don't take the pad and you start to draw. You know if you missed or not. So if I see that I cannot understand what she did, I can easily change. And this happened to me. I had once, I had to guess a drawing and I didn't make it. And I actually asked the lady, I say, look, show me your drawing because I want to understand a little bit more about your personality. And then I did another routine and then fly very well because it looks like it was part of the routine. So the real secrets in mentalism, always when you prepare a routine, you always need to have some outs ready, in case something goes wrong. So if you know that one routine is a little bit risky, always try to have a little different out that you can actually apply during the routine in case something goes wrong.
So it's like we always will have a backup plan, right?
Yes, you always need to have a backup plan. What you say with the coins, if you don't make the coins disappear, you can do something else. If the coin doesn't change in another coin, you can make the coin disappear, for example, and the people don't know. But the same thing, I think, it can be played with mentalism too. You just need to think before.
Okay. So, sir, actually, let me ask you one thing. It's like there are two kind of mentalists who say not different kind of statements, two kind of statements. Okay. Some mentalists say that, okay, when people ask, actually, what is mentalism? Some people say that, like, okay, it's an advanced form of magic. Okay. And there are some mentalists who say, they give pseudo-scientific explanation, like it uses micro expressions, body language, and psychology and all. It is true that in mentalism there are in some effects it uses psychology, it uses like suggestions, influencing and all. But there are many mentalists. I mean, I'm not telling about everybody, but there are like few mentalists who don't know anything about psychology or anything about micro expressions. They just like buy some effects from the market and start doing it and say that okay, it uses micro expressions and I used to study psychology and all. So what is the best thing to say to people when they ask you how do you do mentalism? What's your thought on this?
That's two different things. So the people that buy the tricks to become a mentalist, because now mentalism is going to be like a more fashion thing. So there are magicians that they buy a trick and they think that they're mentalists. When in reality, to become a mentalist, there is a lot of study, a lot of background, a lot of study also in psychology. Personally, for example, I have a master in neuro-linguistic programming, which I really studied that kind of thing. Because, the problem is this. If you talk about something, you need to know what you talk about. Because if you talk with someone that really know about micro expression and they ask you something, you cannot be like, well, I don't know. You need to be able to know. So if you say something, you need to study that topic. That's the main factor. Okay, so if you talk about psychology, you need to know a little bit of psychology. If you know about body language, you need to study body language. Look, behind me, there are books about body language, selling, marketing, motivation, everything. You know why? Because you want to make sure that when you say something, you need to be able to expand your knowledge with the people that maybe know more than you. You know, you need to know what to say. So when they ask me what mentalism is, I always say that mentalism is an art to connect with people, because that's the best answer. Because you can connect with people through body language, micro expression, emotional connection, everything. So, you know, I think that is the best answer that you can give to someone when they ask what mentalist is.
Yeah, so so you are actually saying that those magicians, I mean, not mentalists, those magicians who are like interested to learn mentalism and they just buy some effects on the market, if they are saying some statements as convincers to convince the audience, that statement should be relevant and they should be knowing too much information about that, right?
Yes, they need to know what they talk about. That's the point, you know. So if you, and also, I don't think you know, people can call themselves mentalist if they buy 2,000 euros in mentalism tricks, you know, because I've been studying mentalism for like 20 and plus years, you know, reading old books. I have in my library in Italy, I have hundreds of books in mentalism, even some very old from 1930s, you know. So there is a lot of preparation behind it. You know, when you do a routine, you need to know how to also. That's another point. When you buy mentalist trick, you need to be able also to change it a little bit. You know, not to exactly do what says on the box. Well, something you have to, but most of the time, mentalism is all about methods, not about tricks. So why not to take that methods and change in something else? You know, I wrote 23 books for mentalism community, and if you see, my methods are not incredibly, you know, modern or incredibly new, but I worked using old methods mixed with the good scripting, and that makes the difference. You know, it's the way you present it.
Yeah, the way you sell it to the community, right? The way you advertise it and all.
Yeah.
So yeah, so actually tell us about your best and the like challenging experience you had in the mentalism performance till now. One best experience and one worst experience, let's say. No, I cannot say it's
Well,
worst because worst experience actually the bad experience gives you new methods to overcome the challenge, right? So I'm not saying it's
yeah,
bad, but yeah.
that's
So
exactly what I was saying. There is not really good experience, a bad experience. You know, the good experience, I can say, I don't know, working for, you know, Qatar Airways, a beautiful stage, or
uh-huh.
you know, big cruise ships with an incredible modern stage with the three big screens and 2,000 people and all these kind of things. Yeah, that's beautiful. But it's also beautiful when you perform one-to-one, because I don't think is the actual place that makes the difference. It's the actual performance. So sometimes a strong one-to-one performer can give you more. You know, maybe you like more something like this than be on a stage with 2,000 people. You know, sometimes it's the way you perceive the others, the spectator, how they perceive your performance. You know, and for the worst experience, well, I don't think I had a very bad experience. I had maybe bad day where I was maybe not 100% of my power in delivering my performance, maybe because, you know, I was tired for the traveling and stuff. But I always, to be honest, I always try to be 100% prepared and with a good out in case something goes wrong. So I try to transform the bad experience in an okay experience if something goes wrong, you know.
Yeah, that's nice. That's very nice. So, bro, like, how do you actually, I mean, create a new mentalism effect? Do you actually research on the classic mentalism books, or you just come up with your own ideas?
Well, some of them, for example, the Key of Fate, the Fox, and other props that I released, they come from scratch. They come just, you know, for my completely new idea. Sometimes you are under the shower and you have a new idea. Or, for example, the book I'm writing now is a book is called Shabara. and it's a book that I dream. I dreamt the story in one night. I wake up and I wrote the story. Is a person that see a show in first person. You actually read the experience of one person watching a show, and then there is all the explanation of the effect. So it's kind of different format book, but it's actually a beautiful book with beautiful images and very strong story. And that I just dreamt. I wake up in the morning. I was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I start to write, and that's how it comes to my mind. So you never know. Maybe you are in the toilet and you have an idea. You never know what can happen.
I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. So, sir, actually, in mentalism, okay, the mentalism effects, there are like many award-winning mentalists and there are like professional mentalists, okay. So, as a professional mentalist, we can learn because there are many legends, including you, who contribute so much to the mentalism industry, our community, right? So you and many mentalists are out there, creative genius who contribute many things to the community. So people like me, like a professional people, we just learn that thing and we do it in our show. But the kind of effects that we do is actually not the type we do in the competitions to win the award, right? So actually, what's the difference? What kind of mentalism routines which we do for like FISM and all to win the award? I mean, win the competition. What's the difference?
Well, that's obviously up to the performer. That you cannot say which is the best or the worst routine that you can do for a competition. When I did the Nostradamus, for example, in France, I did my version of the box. The when you put the hand inside and the spectator feels something else. I was one of the first in Europe to actually use that routine for a mentalism, that proper for a mentalism act. Then we had Darren Brown in the show, and then now a lot of people does. And but a lot of people came up with incredible huge routine and they didn't win. Or for example, when I did the FISM in Italy, I did a very emotional routine and everyone was like shocked because I was the only one.
It was like sentimentalism, right?
Yes, exactly. I did this emotional routine with the rose and stuff. And the mentalist was like, wow, normally on a big stage like this, you want to go with the big stuff. And instead, I went with very intimate routine. And in fact, I got a good place anyway. I didn't win, obviously, I didn't win, but I got a good place. And that made the difference because the people was very focused on, say, imagine like 4,000 people completely silent, looking this emotional connection between the mentalist and other person. So that was me. I decided to do something a little bit out of what is the normal standard of FaceTime, but that's the idea. You need to do whatever you feel to do and whatever is connected with your personality.
Yeah. So actually, let me just tell you one thing that I feel from my small experience. That one thing which I learned is that, see, magic is all about giving the people a moment of happiness, like the moment of astonishment. But I feel like mentalism, the real success of a mentalist is giving them the feel that we are reading their mind or we get inside their head and we are reading the mind or we are influencing the mind. I strongly believe that it's all about it. No matter what kind of effects we perform, no matter where we are, if we can give the feel, that comfortability to the spectator that we are really actually reading their mind instead of feeling like a tricky thing, I think that's the success of a mentalist. I believe. Right? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think this too, because mentalism is almost a real thing, and sometimes you actually guess real stuff even without use any trickery. I've been used to now. I work from 30 years in magic and mentalism, and now honestly sometimes I just looking at the person, I try to guess stuff and I'm right. I don't know if I have a power for real, but
we have to take chances, right?
Yeah, you need to take chances, and also I think that more you perform and more you connect with the people, and more you have the chance to actually to guess real stuff. Because at the end, most of the time, people, if you do, a percentage of what the people think, what the people read, what the people draw, for example, they're almost kind of the same thing. Um, so you can actually start to see a kind of pattern, and that become always the same. So you can actually, guess for real what the people think.
What's the best advice you can give it to the community people? I mean, to the mentalists out there, to be like creative in their work.
Well, to be creative is just a matter of learning a lot, because more you learn, more you absorb knowledge, and more your brain starts to work in a different way. I have when I talk with friends mentalists and we brainstorm a new routine, it's fantastic because, he said one thing, another said one more thing, and we start to create, and the brain starts to, you see the fire going out from my ear and the smoke, And because, once you know concept and you know things, your brain is like a muscle, it starts to work in a creative way. So I always say, don't just learn what you buy, but expand your knowledge as much as you can. Absorb books, read anything that, not only mentalism, but also other stuff. Neuro-linguistic programming. Because, for example, if you study books of a PNL, or NLP, sorry, you actually see some concept, and you read about some concept that you can actually use in your show. So maybe that concept had nothing to do with mentalism, it help you to create something in mentalism. So always have a look around, not always only in our field.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I'll ask one last question and we can end up the session, okay? One last question.
Well,
so this is more of like,
do you want to try an experiment? What do you think?
yeah. Like I forgot about that. I should, yeah. I wanna try an experiment. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's try. Now, let's try something with you, because we speak about connecting with people, and I want to try something with you. Look, here I have an envelope, okay? And inside this envelope, you should see, there is a piece of paper. You see it?
Yeah.
A red piece of paper, yeah? Okay, now, I leave this here in full view, so we're fine. So, Bharath, let's play with imagination. Now, we haven't agreed anything before, okay? It's all about playing with the mind, with imagination. I would like that you imagine to go in a room, okay? You are in a room,
okay.
But this room is completely white room. And inside this room, there are many, many books, hundreds of books, okay? There are beautiful books that make you happy, books that make you sad, books, colorful books and stuff like this. And then you look around and you see one book which really attracts your attention. You take the book and you see the cover is without the title. There are many, many different colors, red, green, blue, different colors. It's like a rainbow. Then you open the book anywhere and you see that there are many, many words. At one point, all the words start to fade up. There are no words anymore, but there is only one word in the middle of the page, only one single word. Now, this word is a very important word for you. It's a personal word, a word very important, a word that motivates you, a word that makes you think. Which is the word that you are thinking, the word that you are looking on the page? Tell me.
Attitude.
Sorry? Attitude.
Attitude.
Attitude. Okay, very good. That's a very important word, attitude, because it expresses ourselves, right? Good.
Yeah.
So at this point, what's happened? You close the book. Okay, you close the book and you go out from this room. Now, before we do anything else, now, why you thought about this word, the word attitude? What makes you think the word attitude?
Yeah, because you said to me that this word is kind of like important to me, which is actually very personal. So I am a kind of a person who believes that we know in life there are like positive things happening, negative things happening, very bad things are happening in the personal life, right? And the way to face those problems are the attitude towards the problem. I believe like that because it's all about our attitude
Exactly.
towards everything.
So it's all about how we react, right? And now let me
Yeah.
show you, because here there is this piece of paper that I showed you before, and I have the piece of paper here. And I wrote one word, which is
Wow.
attitude. As you can see, that maybe I actually influence your choice, talking about attitude, talking about personality. Who knows? Who knows?
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, wow.
I like to use the idea that you're thinking of a word that is important for you. It makes, that's, it's not important now the method or the trick. That's to make the point. I did this for you because I wanted to make the point that in mentalism, we need to think that we need to give a feeling, an emotion. How you felt after this routine? You was like, oh, wow, wow. You would say, you felt strange, right? But I make it personal to you, because I can easily tell you, oh, imagine a famous celebrity, and then it was a celebrity inside the envelope. It was not the same, but I created a moment for you. I created a moment that you go in a library and all the words disappear. There is one important word for you and stuff like that. So it's not the method. The method is not important. What is important is the feeling that you make that person. Because at the end, if you do this for lay people, let's say, not for magician, the person will not only remember that you predict the word, but they actually say, oh, I thought the word was important to me. So that word will stay in her mind forever, because it's a word that is connected with her. Because if you predicted a celebrity, she say, oh, he predicted, I don't know, Tom Cruise. Oh, very good, very good. And that's, after 1 week, she forget. But because I predict your word, which is attitude, and you will remember, oh, attitude is important word for me. And you will never forget it. And that's the point I want to make with mentalism,
Yeah, that's actually really true. I mean, like whatever the method we use, I mean, people don't know which method you are using. Like only magicians and mentalists know which method you are playing with, right? So whatever the method we use, I strongly believe if you want to give a personal feel to the spectator, it's very important in the scripting that we use. It's very important in the questions that we ask, right?
Yes, exactly. It's the
Yeah,
script that we use.
maybe you could have asked me like, okay, which book you are actually holding on to it, and I will say the book name like a Sherlock Holmes or something else, and it can appear there that I know, but you gave it, you by twisting the question in a different direction, you change the entire feel of the act. I mean,
Yes.
you asked me, you didn't say like all the words fade away, only one word is there. Which word is that? You didn't go directly. Instead you said, okay, all the words fade away except for one, and let me tell you, Bharath, this word is more of like a personal to you. So the scripting is brilliant.
Yes, exactly, because it makes it personal. So
Yeah,
that's the
it makes
point.
sense, it makes sense, because there is a justification. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. The scripting is brilliant. So yeah, let me come down to one last question, then we can end the session. So in the community, whether it is magic or mentalism or music or dance, we all have close friends in our community. Most of the people, but few people don't have so much close friends because they may be introvert in the personal life and an extrovert in the professional life. So
Yeah.
talking about this, like if we have close friends, okay, there are two kind of creative genius. Some are like if they have close friends in the mentalism community, some mentalists discuss with their friends about their ideas and all. And there are some kind of people who don't discuss, they just do everything inside their head only. So do you have any close friends in the mentalism community? And if you have, do you discuss your ideas before the release with them?
Yes, I have many. Paul McGuy, John Morton, Kennedy, Luch, I can make a huge list. Renato Cotini, my good friend from Italy, JD Bias. I have a long list of friends, because the point is that when you want to make something good, you need to always talk with other people, because if you keep everything for yourself, you will, your routine or your idea will be at 1%. But if you expand your idea with someone else and someone put a little seed in it, your idea will become incredible. And so I always think that collaboration is the main key to creation.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Anyway, Luca, thanks a lot for the time, and you shared some of the there are wonderful things which you said in this interview, and I'm really sure that for the mentalist out there in India, it will be very helpful. And thanks a lot for the time you had taken for this interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bharath, my friend, and
Thank you.
let me update with everything, and I say hi to all the friends and colleagues from India that are watching now.
Yeah, thanks, man.